Hello guys, welcome to Surveying Solutions, your number one channel where you get solutions to all your surveying problems. It's nice having you in class again. It's been a long while. Yes, we must admit that we've been away for a while now. Yeah, but we are coming back gradually. It's alright. Today we are going to show you a few things on mobile topographer and Google Earth application. So many things are going mobile, or would I say so many things have gone mobile. Even our profession is not left behind. There are some things we can do with our mobile phone that we couldn't do, let's say, some years back or some years before now. So we are going to show you in this short video, would I call it short, but in this video, how you can do what we want to show you how to do now. So without spending much time, let's get started. We actually have a video on how to use mobile topographer. The link to that video will be left on the description section, where you can actually have access to the video and then you watch it. On that video, we made a very exhaustive, quite exhaustive explanation on how to use the application and then how to finally export. However, today we are going to show you how to export from it in the form of CSV, or in the form of KML rather, because on the last video it was on CSV. How to export in form of KML from this mobile topographer and then move it to a Google Earth application on your phone. The essence of doing that is, for instance, now you go out to maybe carry out a survey job, and then maybe you went out to do something for someone, whether as built or maybe normal data acquisition, whatever it is. And then after acquiring your data, you've stored the information and you want to perhaps see if the data you acquired falls within the geographical location of that parcel or of the property with which where you've worked. For instance, now you went to survey, let's say, a known bank, as built survey of a known bank, and then you've actually picked the corners and then some other details around, and you have the coordinates of the point. You want to know on Google Map, or maybe whatever the case is, which is actually our big database, whether if it falls within those locations. So how do you go about it? That's what we are going to show to you now. There is a similar video on how to do this. We are still going to check it out and leave it on the description section so that you can have an exhaustive appreciation of what we are talking about. However, what we want to show you now is how to move it from this mobile topographer, which is actually a household application in our profession, to the Google Earth, so that you can work with ease, work with confidence. By the time you move it to the Google Earth, you can do some other stuff on Google Earth, which would increase, would I say, your productivity. It's alright. So I just had to make that basic explanation on what we want to achieve, so that you prepare your mind and then you get the full information. So now we are using UTM instead of WGS84. So basically we won't spend much time on explaining the interface, because as I said earlier, the video on how to move around all these things, we've made a video on it and the link is on the description section. So you start accurate positioning, then you allow your accuracy to drop to maybe 0 point something or 1 point something, as the case may be, depending on what you want to achieve. When it gets to that point, we are actually waiting for that. When it gets to that point, we move to the next point, and we move to the next point until we are in an open environment, so the accuracy is increasing, the values are reducing and the accuracy is increasing. So let's say we stop this positioning and then we save this point as let's say we call it ID1. Good. So we move to our next point. We just move randomly to 4 points, and then we do what we want to do. So Upon moving to the next point, let's say we got to this other point, this other point, this other point, this other point, this other point. Good. So let's start the positioning. So this is basically how you use the the application to acquire data. The setting up and rest of that, you'll find it on the video in the description section where we've explained that. So we are still waiting for the accuracy to improve. So when the accuracy is fair enough, so we stop, and then we do what? We save it again as ID2, right? Good. We move to another point, which is likely our third point on this particular if I call it session. So we move to our third point on this particular session, and then let's say we are here. Good. So let's say we're going to use this as our third point. So we start accurate positioning. We allow our accuracy to improve, which is what we are doing right now. Then when it has improved to appreciable value, we can decide to stop the positioning and then save the point on the and save the point to our maybe database or whatever the case is. So let's stop it, and then let's say this is we call this ID3, right? Good. So let's just get to a fourth point for the purpose of this video. Let's get to a fourth point, and then let's see what we can do at this 4 point. So good. I think we can use start accurate positioning, and then we see what happens when it gets to. So as the accuracy reduces, as the value reduces, the accuracy increases. So and that's actually what is very important right now. So we can stop the positioning and then save this as ID4, right? Good. So we have 4 points saved already, and then we are going to see the points that we have saved on the list. These are actually other points that we worked on using the application. So we have our ID1, ID2, ID3, and our ID4. So we are going to save this now on the directory. How are we going to do that? We are going to say save. So let's call this ID series. So cannot create file for writing. Error. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so created successfully. Now we are going to export. Now on our last video we used CSV, that's a comma separated value. On this video we are going to export it as KML, so that we can be able to import it to Google Earth, and then work with it from there. So id Siri.kml, id Siri.csv, id Siri.txt, GXF AutoCAD extension. So what we need is the KML. So we save it, and then it has been successfully saved. So we are going to access it on our directory from the file manager, and then move it to move it to Google Earth. From the memory where it was exported, we have it as the idc.what.kml. So we can decide to do what? Either we can decide to open it from here, or we go to Google it and open it from there. Do you get it? Good. We can decide to open it from here, or we go to Google it and open it from there. However, it will be easier to just open it from here, since it already knows that the application that can open that file is what is Google it. So it's trying to load the points, because there are different points. And one thing I also understand from it is that if you don't delete the other points, or let's say other information that have been there on that particular on the application, it will keep recording new points after those ones. So that's one thing I came to understand about it. So we are trying to get it, and then all right, so you can see that the points have fully loaded, and then you can identify the points you picked on site. So from what I can see here, yes, I can be able to identify that yes, I was at this this is where I was, or maybe this is where I actually carried out the data acquisition, or this is where I carried out my field assignment, or this is where I obtained or maybe acquired my data. This is where I acquired my data. So you see, that's one other important feature, or this is one other thing you can do using your mobile topographer. After getting the data or acquiring the data from site, which is what you can actually use it for, then you can also view it. You know, on the other video we showed you how to export the point as CSV and then move it to any other software or application and work with it. On this video we are showing you how to move it from that mobile topographer to Google it, and how to see that, okay, yeah, you see, yeah, this building was close to this point, that's true. This point was close to this gutter, that's true. It was close to this street, that's true. It was close to this road, that's true. So with this, you can be very sure of what you've done on site. So I believe we've been able to show you, or let's say remind you, or let's say refresh your memory on how to do this. And then that's one of the essence of the channel, to bring to you solutions, to bring to you reminders, quick hacks, or let's say the tricks on how to carry out this noble profession, and how to excel in the profession. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found solution to this particular solving problems. Please, if you're coming for the first time, help us to subscribe to the channel, and if you're a returning viewer, thanks for always coming back to check on us. And you can comment, encourage us, you can even support us. Here is very important. You can support us, and check the description section where you can see information on how to support us. So as I said earlier, I would like to say this again. If you've been using the mobile topographer application, you'll see that the data you've acquired from the one using it will still be there to the end. That means to the last day you've used it. So when you want to visualize a particular point on Google Earth, it's just for you to zoom to that point, because by the time you load the KML file, all the points will come in with it. So it's not left for you to zoom to the points where you did your recent job. You understand? Good. So yeah, thank you very much for that, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, keep being a good geomatic engineer, and then have a nice time. Bye.